What is up, guys? My name is Iceberg of Iceberg's Gaming here. Today I'm going to be talking about gun manufacturers in Borderlands 2. I'm going to be telling you which guns are best for your playstyle, and overall all the intricacies and small little details that you probably didn't know about guns and what makes them most effective for you. So if that sounds interesting to you, please stick around. Alright guys, thank you so much for sticking around. Once again, my name is Iceberg of Iceberg's Gaming, and today I'm going to be talking about weapons manufacturers and makers in Borderlands 2. If you guys have not noticed already, basically all manufacturers make unique style of weapons that can really influence your choice in whether you want to pick that gun up and use it to kill those badass enemies in Borderlands 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a quick breakdown on every single manufacturer in Borderlands 2 for weapons. Now I'm just going to be covering weapons in this video. I'll be covering shields and all that kind of stuff later, but today it's just going to be weapons. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to start out with Torque first. There should be some images on screen of what some of the Torque guns look like, as well as probably some gameplay of me using some Torque guns. But that's besides the point. Let's talk about them a bit, shall we? So the biggest thing about Torque guns is they are explosive. You cannot find a Torque gun without a grenade mod attachment, something weird like that. A lot of times they'll shoot miniature grenades that'll blow up like 3 seconds later. Sometimes they'll just shoot explosive rounds. Bottom line is, if you find a Torque weapon, it is going to do explosive damage. However, you'll also notice with Torque guns, they tend to have a smaller magazine size, which is kind of understandable because they are explosive guns. However, that's something to keep in mind. One of the things to know about Torque, although they have this amazing explosive ability, their weapons tend to have very low velocity travel times, and this is a huge deal in Borderlands 2. It wasn't that big of a deal in Borderlands 1, but velocity travel times is basically how long it takes the bullet to leave your barrel as soon as you click the fire button and insert into the enemy's skull. You're going to notice that with these guns it takes a very long time for these projectiles to actually hit your enemy and deal that amazing amount of explosive damage. That is something to know about Torque guns. So let's take a step back from these fancy Torque guns and let's shift into your Jacob's old-fashioned guns. Yes, I say old-fashioned because their guns are old-fashioned. They'll often be made out of wood. They have very kind of slow, natural guns you'd be familiar with kind of in the real world. Now, one thing about Jacobs that is very great is that they can fire as fast as you can shoot. So that means if you can pull the trigger very quickly, you happen to have one of those modded controllers, tisk, who are one of the fastest shots in the wild west. These guns are definitely for you. They don't really have any other abilities. I should also note that sniper rifles are kind of the exclusion for this rule. The exception for this rule. Sniper rifles are most often using old-fashioned technology. Like I said, Jacobs is one of those old companies, those guns that just have the old-fashioned kind of nostalgic kind of feel to them. They're not going to be those flashy guns that most of you are probably looking for. However, if you want a solid, reliable gun, it does have the ability to shoot as fast as you can. You'll regret that. Jacobs is definitely the manufacturer you're going to want to go with. So, but you guys probably don't want to hear about that old-fashioned stuff. Let's move into something a little bit more flashy, a little bit more Borderlands-like. Let's move over to Maliwan. Maliwan is famous for one thing and one thing only, and that is elemental damage. If you find a Maliwan gun, you are most certainly going to have some sort of elemental effect, such as corrosive, slag, fire, or shot, because guess what? All of their guns have some sort of elemental ability on them, which is amazing. It is cool. Their guns always look fresh, they're very colorful, but the main thing about Maliwan guns is they will always have some sort of elemental effect on them, which is very cool. You see the flashy Maliwan guns with all their elemental effects. Let's move over to kind of the classic, the lots of fire, the high bullet count, those kind of guns. Let's go over to Vladoff. Now Vladoff is very cool. They're just like they were in Borderlands 1, where their guns have an extremely high rate of fire. They're famous for those amazing SMGs and assault rifles that have giant clips. They also are very good for classes like the gun Berserkers. They seem to have minigun sight barrels where the longer you hold down the trigger, the more bullets do come spewing out of that red hot barrel. So if you do happen to be the gun Berserker, you're going to want to look for those flat off guns. They have a high fire rate. You can have both in one hand. I'm sorry, you can have one of these miniguns in one hand, another one in your other hand, and you can just do work all day long holding down the trigger. But fire rate might not be for you, and that is fine, because there is plenty more makers to choose from. So we're going to move down to the Hyperion Corporation. Yes, Hyperion Corporation, those are who makes all of the kind of the fancy, the highest tech guns in the game. So what is their kind of special ability? Well, that is accuracy. Accuracy is a big deal in any game, any shooter, any FPS, any RPG, period. Accuracy is a huge deal. You're going to need to get those critical hits in this game. That is a bigger deal than it has been any other game, just because of the massive amounts of health enemies have and the massive amount of damage critical hits do. So accuracy is a big deal. So I said accuracy. Now exactly what does that mean? Do they have starting initial accuracy? Yes, they have very high starting initial accuracy, but another ability they do have is the longer you hold down the trigger, the more accurate the gun gets, which is very, very cool. So that means if you have a gun that does a lot of damage, has a lot of bullets in the clip, you hold that thing down, it is going to be pinpoint accurate by about your 4th or 5th shot. This is great for fighting bosses that have a lot of health, where you're going to empty multiple clips into your foe. So far we have covered Jacob, Vladoff, Torque, and Hyperion, as well as Maliwan. You cannot forget those elemental guns. So what else do we have? Well, you know those red chests, they're scattered all around Borderlands 2, they have the words doll on them. Well, that is not just a coincidence. Doll is an amazing weapons manufacturer as well. So let's talk about them. What makes doll guns so great, you might ask? Well, that is the customizability of fire rate. Yes, fire rate. We talked about fire rate and blah, but this is completely different. These guns maintain a certain amount of accuracy as well as a certain amount of fire rate. So what does that mean? Well, I'm here to explain it to you. That means that your guns might do full auto when not ADS and 3-round burst when ADS, or vice versa. This makes these guns much more accurate, much more precise, much more customized, and overall amazing guns. It's great to do 3-round burst shots in Borderlands 2. You can hit the crit zone without losing your accuracy. As well as if you need to spray and pray, you can just go to the hip fire and own all of your enemies that way. So we're almost done. We only have 2 more manufacturers left. So let's get right into it. Let's first talk about Theodore. I always refer to Theodore, but I just noticed today there is no H, so I'm going to call it, I'm just still going to call it Theodore because that's what I enjoy calling it. But you can call it however you want to pronounce it. Hedio, I'm not even going to try. So basically what these guns have, they have this special ability called explosive reloading. Now explosive reloading, I did an entire video on it. If you guys want to see it, it's kind of cool, it's kind of interesting. There's some tips and tricks involved, but it's not all that vital. So basically, whenever you reload, your gun is going to be chucked into the air at your enemy, doing grenades. It's very cool, very innovative. I'm very happy Gearbox implemented something like this. However, it's not all that useful for a few reasons. The first reason is whenever you reload, it does a grenade animation, which is cool. However, you lose all the ammo currently in the clip. So all of you premature reloaders, please don't take that the sexual way. I meant that quite literally. If you reload, you press the X button before your gun has exhausted all of its bullets, you sick-minded 10-year-olds out there, you. But anyway, if you do happen to reload before you've exhausted all of the bullets in your clip, your gun is going to be thrown like a grenade and all of your bullets are going to disappear with it, making your grenade do much more damage. However, that prize ammunition is going to be gone, forever lost in the Borderlands waste. So overall, Theodore guns really aren't all that great in my opinion. However, there's one more manufacturer that are a great one.
Silence!
Bandit. Bandit is brand new to Borderlands, so it's very cool. I'm glad they added a new manufacturer. I'm very happy. Now they have one use and one use only, and that is massive magazine size. Yes, massive magazine size. Magazine size are the biggest in the game. If you want that kind of giant 200 shot magazine size, you're going to want to look for Bandit guns. just like cannons, they don't know how to shoot, they don't have very good accuracy, so they just want to hold down the trigger and sit there and never have to worry about reloading. So that is why the damage brand is here. So let's do a very quick recap. I'll start from the top. This weapon doesn't fire fast because it's cold. Theodore has that amazing, actually not so amazing ability. When you reload, you're going to throw it on a grenade. Vladoff has their very extreme high rates of fire. Pork has their explosive ammunition. Joel has the burst fire and full automatic, depending if you zoom in or not. Joel has very highly accurate guns. Hyperion has a very kind of cool, high kinetic, accurate of all sorts without amount one. And then finally, which has the largest magazines in the game. So guys, I think that's going to about conclude it. Maybe I'll throw in a couple tips and tricks here. You're going to want to use these to your advantage. Now that you know this information, how do you use it? Well, it completely depends on your class. If you are a class that favors sniper rifles, you're going to want to use kind of Hyperion guns that have very high accuracy. However, if you happen to be a class that throw a lot of skills into the elemental guns, you might want to try to find some Malawon guns. You want to try to find some Silence! Correction, you are going to want to find some Malawon guns in Borderlands 2. That is going to make your character much more of a deal with it. You have to have some elemental skills. And then finally, if you happen to be the gunzerker, you're going to want either some flat-off guns, maybe some bandit guns. You can just hold down the trigger and just let the bullets fly. So guys, that is going to conclude this video. I hope you did enjoy. I have plenty of videos coming similar to this. I'm going to be doing overlays of every single shield in the game, both the sky classes, as well as grenade mods, and there's one other thing. Oh no, I already did mods. I think that's it. Grenade mods, as well as shields to paint on your character. So that sounds interesting to you. Oh, and class mods. Consider clicking that subscribe button right above so you can see when those videos come out. Or if you just like this kind of stuff in general, consider clicking that subscribe button. If you also want to leave this video a like, I would really appreciate it. But of course, not necessary. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave those down below. But I think that's going to about do it, guys. So once again, thank you for watching. Have a great day.